but you're not able to function normally at home as you perhaps once used to.
She's forbidden from doing something so basic. You do it without thinking. Catherine, Princess of Wales, can't vote, can't hug her husband in public, and shockingly, must pack funeral clothes on every vacation in case someone dies. But that's not even the worst part. The real reason she and William can never fly together will send chills down your spine.
So why does it so often take individuals to reach breaking point?
Behind those perfect smiles lies a prison of rules so extreme, they border on inhumane. One restriction is so disturbing, even her own children aren't safe from it. One of the most unexpected rules Catherine must follow involves something most celebrities do without thinking: signing autographs. During public engagements, excited admirers, particularly children, often approach her with pens and papers in hand, hoping for a signature to treasure. Yet Catherine consistently declines these requests, sometimes offering a drawing or a warm conversation instead. This isn't about being unfriendly or dismissive. The prohibition exists for a serious security reason. Royal signatures could potentially be forged and used on official documents, checks, or legal papers, creating dangerous situations. The risk of someone misusing her handwriting is considered too significant to ignore. While movie stars and musicians freely scribble their names for fans, Catherine represents the British state, and her signature carries weight beyond celebrity. This restriction serves as an early reminder that she occupies a unique position, one where even small gestures must be carefully considered for their potential consequences. The hierarchy within the royal family is reinforced through another visible protocol: the curtsy. Despite being married to the heir to the throne and destined to become queen consort one day, Catherine must still curtsy to King Charles whenever she greets him formally. This gesture isn't performed out of personal submission or lack of respect between family members. Instead, it acknowledges the constitutional structure of the monarchy itself. The curtsy represents recognition of rank within an institution that has maintained specific traditions for generations. These gestures are executed with such grace and subtlety that casual observers often miss them entirely. Television cameras might catch a slight bend of the knee or a modest bow of the head during state occasions. But the movement happens so naturally, it seems almost invisible. Yet each time Catherine performs this ritual, she reinforces the pecking order that places the reigning monarch at the apex of the royal hierarchy. Even her own children are expected to observe similar protocols as they grow older and understand their positions within the family structure. This tradition extends beyond just the monarch, too. The order of precedence determines who curtsies to whom based on birth rank and marriage, creating an intricate web of formal greetings that must be navigated correctly at every gathering. When Catherine travels internationally for official tours, her security arrangements go far beyond the standard protection most public figures receive. According to reports from royal sources, British royals traveling abroad carry their own matched blood supply. This precaution exists because in some countries, local medical facilities may not meet the standards required for royal care, or the blood supply might not be reliably screened and stored. The thought is sobering. It means that even Catherine's potential medical emergencies are planned for in advance, down to ensuring compatible blood is available should she require a transfusion. This isn't paranoia, but careful risk management for someone whose health and safety carry national importance. The practice highlights how thoroughly every aspect of royal travel is considered and controlled. Nothing is left to chance when a senior working royal ventures beyond British borders. From the food she eats to the water she drinks, every element of her trip is scrutinized for potential risks. Among the most visually striking symbols of royal status are tiaras, those glittering diamond creations that seem to define royal fashion. Yet Catherine didn't wear a single tiara until her wedding day, and even now, opportunities to wear them remain rare and carefully regulated. The rule is clear: only married royal women may wear tiaras, and even then, only at evening state occasions or formal white tie events. Before her marriage, Catherine attended various royal functions, but always without these sparkling headpieces. The restriction isn't arbitrary. Tiaras have historically symbolized married status and rank within aristocratic and royal circles by reserving them for specific occasions and specific individuals. The monarchy maintains their significance as ceremonial objects, rather than mere accessories. When Catherine appears wearing the lover's knot tiara, or the lotus flower tiara from the royal collection, it signals the importance of the event itself. These pieces aren't fashion statements. They're part of a visual language that communicates tradition, continuity, and the solemnity of state occasions. The rarity of tiara appearances makes them all the more meaningful when they do occur, transforming what could be simple jewelry into powerful symbols of heritage. Gift-giving poses another complicated area of royal protocol. During walkabouts and official visits, well-wishers frequently offer Catherine presents, from handmade crafts to expensive luxury items. Children present her with drawings and flowers, while hosts at events may offer elaborate gifts as tokens of appreciation. Catherine cannot simply accept these offerings and take them home as personal possessions. Strict palace policies govern what royals may keep. The rules exist to prevent any appearance of impropriety, favoritism, or attempts to influence royal family members through expensive presents. Generally, consumable items like flowers or food can be accepted, but valuable gifts must be recorded in official logs, cataloged, and often put into trust or donated to charity. Personal items that could create conflicts of interest are typically refused or returned. Every gift Catherine receives passes through this filtering system where palace staff evaluate its appropriateness and determine its fate. What might seem like a simple act of generosity from a member of the public becomes a bureaucratic process, stripping spontaneity from the exchange. The policy protects Catherine from accusations of corruption or favoritism, but it also means she cannot form the direct personal connections that gift-giving usually creates. Perhaps one of the most controlling restrictions involves Catherine's public voice. When she delivers speeches at events, whether discussing early childhood development or mental health awareness, every word has been carefully prepared in advance. Catherine cannot simply stand up and speak from the heart on topics she's passionate about. Each speech undergoes thorough review and approval processes to ensure it remains appropriately neutral and avoids anything that could be interpreted as political commentary or controversial opinion. Her words are crafted, polished, and aligned with the monarchy's constitutional position as an institution above politics and partisan debate. Nothing is improvised. Even her tone, phrasing, and emphasis receive attention to ensure her message cannot be misconstrued or weaponized by media outlets or political groups. For someone who clearly cares deeply about the causes she champions, this level of control must feel restrictive. Catherine has established herself as an advocate for early years education and mental health support, yet she must frame these issues in the most careful, non-controversial language possible. Her speeches avoid suggesting policy changes or criticizing government approaches, even when such criticisms might seem warranted. Instead, she focuses on awareness raising and encouraging public discussion, always staying within the boundaries that separate royal advocacy from political activism. This means Catherine's voice, while influential, is never entirely her own. Every public statement represents not just her views, but the carefully maintained neutrality of the crown itself. These 6 protocols represent just the beginning of the extensive rulebook governing Catherine's life, from refusing autographs to having her speeches vetted, from curtsying to carrying blood supplies abroad, from limited tiara wearing to restricted gift acceptance. Each rule chips away at the personal freedoms most people take for granted. Together, they paint a picture of someone whose public image and private choices exist under constant scrutiny and control. The princess, who seems to glide effortlessly through royal duties, does so while navigating an invisible maze of restrictions that shape her every move. The restrictions governing Catherine's personal behavior extend deeply into her political and social life, creating boundaries that separate her experience from that of ordinary British citizens. These protocols don't just limit what she can do, they fundamentally shape how she must present herself to the world and interact with others in public spaces. The rules in this category reveal how thoroughly the monarchy's constitutional position influences every aspect of her existence, from the water she drinks to where she stands in a room. One of the most striking limitations Catherine faces is her complete exclusion from the democratic process. Unlike millions of British citizens who exercise their right to vote in local and national elections, Catherine cannot cast a ballot. She cannot run for political office, campaign for candidates, or publicly express opinions on political matters. This restriction isn't written in law, but stems from constitutional convention that requires the monarchy to remain strictly neutral in all political affairs. The reasoning makes sense from an institutional perspective. The royal family represents the entire nation, not one political party or ideology. If Catherine were to express support for particular policies or politicians, it could undermine the monarchy's role as a unifying symbol above partisan politics. However, the practical reality means that on issues she clearly cares about, such as early childhood education or mental health funding, she must remain carefully neutral about how these causes should be addressed through government policy. She can raise awareness and encourage discussion, but she cannot advocate for specific legislative solutions or criticize political decisions. For someone in her position, silence on political matters isn't a personal choice, but a constitutional requirement. Even when elections determine the future direction of programs she supports, Catherine must watch from the sidelines without expressing any preference. This creates a strange dynamic where she possesses significant influence through her platform and visibility, yet cannot use that influence in the most direct form of civic participation available to regular citizens. When Catherine travels abroad for official tours, even something as basic as drinking water becomes subject to protocol. While this rule isn't formally written into palace guidelines, royal sources indicate that working royals are strongly advised to avoid tap water in many countries. The concern centers on preventing illness that could disrupt carefully planned diplomatic schedules. A bout of food poisoning or waterborne illness wouldn't just affect Catherine personally. It could derail meetings with foreign dignitaries, disappoint crowds gathered to see her, and create awkward diplomatic situations. Therefore, she relies exclusively on bottled or properly filtered water during international visits. This precaution might seem excessive, but it reflects the broader principle that her health and ability to fulfill duties takes priority over normal risk-taking. The restriction serves as another reminder that her body isn't entirely her own. It must be protected and preserved to fulfill the functions expected of a senior working royal. Even basic decisions about hydration require consideration of diplomatic consequences and schedule protection. Catherine's advocacy work, while genuine and impactful, must navigate extremely narrow boundaries regarding controversial topics. She has established herself as a champion for early childhood development, focusing on the critical first 5 years of life. She also works extensively on mental health awareness and reducing stigma around psychological struggles. These causes matter deeply to her, and her involvement has genuinely moved public conversation forward. Yet she must approach these topics with extreme caution to avoid crossing into controversial territory. When discussing mental health, she focuses on awareness and reducing stigma, rather than critiquing inadequate mental health services or insufficient government funding. When advocating for early childhood education, she emphasizes its importance without suggesting specific policy changes or criticizing existing programs. This careful navigation means her advocacy always stops short of the most pressing questions. She can highlight problems, but cannot point fingers at those responsible for solving them. She can encourage action without specifying what that action should look like in practical terms. The monarchy's requirement to remain above political controversy means Catherine's voice on issues she cares about must always be filtered through layers of caution and restraint. Even when speaking about deeply personal topics like her own struggles with motherhood or her children's well-being, she must ensure her words cannot be interpreted as criticism of government policy or social structures. This creates advocacy that raises awareness without demanding accountability, a form of influence that is simultaneously powerful and carefully limited. royal fashion rules extend beyond the glamorous gowns that make headlines. One lesser-known requirement involves hosiery. At formal events and official engagements, Catherine is expected to wear stockings or tights, typically in sheer nude tones that create a polished, traditional appearance. Bare legs might be acceptable in casual modern fashion, but royal protocol maintains more conservative standards. Catherine has consistently followed this guideline throughout her years as a working royal, reinforcing the tradition for younger royals who look to her as an example. The rule might seem trivial compared to restrictions on voting or political speech, but it demonstrates how thoroughly protocol governs even minor fashion choices. Every visible element of her appearance must conform to expectations about dignity and appropriateness. The requirement also reflects generational attitudes about formality and presentation that the monarchy preserves even as broader society becomes more casual. While contemporary fashion celebrates individuality and comfort, Catherine's wardrobe must balance personal style with institutional expectations. The hosiery rule is just one small piece of a larger framework that dictates hemlines, necklines, sleeve lengths, and color choices for various occasions. The timing of Catherine's movements at royal events follows strict choreography designed to maintain proper hierarchy. She cannot arrive at a venue before the monarch, nor can she depart before the king leaves. This protocol ensures that the sovereign remains the focal point of every occasion, with all other royals positioned in supporting roles. The rule affects everything from state banquets to church services to public ceremonies. Catherine must carefully coordinate her arrival and departure times to respect the monarch's precedence. Even if she arrives at a venue first, she must wait in a holding area until the appropriate moment to enter after the king. Similarly, regardless of her own schedule or commitments, she cannot leave an event while the monarch remains present. This restriction transforms routine logistics into ceremonial moments, where even something as simple as walking through a door becomes an expression of constitutional order. The protocol reinforces visually what the curtsy reinforces through gesture, that within the royal hierarchy, position and rank dictate every interaction and movement. Meeting dignitaries and members of the public also follows carefully prescribed rules. Catherine cannot casually extend her hand for a handshake when meeting someone new. She must wait until the other person is formally introduced and the interaction is properly initiated according to protocol. This might mean waiting for an official to present someone to her, or allowing the other person to speak or gesture first before she responds. The restriction exists to maintain the formal dignity expected in royal encounters and to ensure proper ceremonial order is observed. What seems like a simple, friendly gesture in normal social contexts becomes a protocol-driven act when Catherine is involved. Even the angle of her handshake and the duration of her grip have been subjects of training and practice. These small moments reveal how thoroughly her interactions are choreographed, with spontaneity sacrificed to maintain appropriate formality. The rule also creates occasional awkward situations when members of the public, unaware of protocol, thrust out their hands, expecting an immediate response, while Catherine must navigate the moment gracefully without appearing rude or cold. Physical positioning at events carries significant meaning in royal protocol. Catherine must never walk ahead of the monarch during public appearances. King Charles always leads, with other royals following according to their place in the line of succession and their rank within the family. This positioning isn't arbitrary, but serves to visually communicate the hierarchy of the monarchy. At red carpet events, processional walks, and official ceremonies, Catherine's steps are measured to ensure she remains in her proper position. Palace staff and royal aides coordinate these movements carefully, sometimes providing subtle guidance to ensure everyone maintains correct spacing and order. The protocol means Catherine cannot rush ahead even if practical considerations suggest it makes sense. If the monarch moves slowly, everyone behind must adjust their pace accordingly. This creates the carefully orchestrated visual presentations that characterize royal events, where every person's position in the frame communicates their position within the institution. Public displays of affection between Catherine and William are notably restrained during official engagements. Unlike celebrity couples who freely show affection for cameras, Catherine and William maintain professional distance while on duty. Hand-holding appears occasionally, but remains relatively rare. Kisses and embraces are almost exclusively reserved for private moments or very specific ceremonial occasions, such as after William participates in sporting events. This restraint isn't about the couple lacking affection for each other, but about maintaining professional dignity during working events. Royal engagements focus on the causes being highlighted and the people being met, not on the personal relationships of the royals present. By limiting physical affection, Catherine and William keep attention on their duties rather than their marriage. Their bond shows through coordinated teamwork, shared glances, and the way they support each other during speeches and difficult moments. The protocol creates a public image that prioritizes duty and service over personal intimacy, reinforcing the idea that their roles as working royals take precedence over their identities as a married couple. These protocols governing Catherine's political neutrality, social interactions, and public presentation create a framework that controls nearly every visible aspect of her life. From the water she drinks to where she stands in a room, from the stockings she wears to when she can shake someone's hand, each rule reinforces her position within a centuries-old institution that values tradition, hierarchy, and carefully maintained appearances above individual freedom and spontaneity. The daily operational realities of Catherine's life involve protocols that affect her family, her public appearances, and even the most routine aspects of her schedule. These rules demonstrate how thoroughly her role as a senior working royal penetrates every aspect of her existence, from professional obligations to deeply personal family matters. Catherine never ventures into public spaces alone or without protection. As a senior working royal, her movements are constantly accompanied by armed security officers from the Metropolitan Police's Royalty Protection Command. Whether she's visiting a primary school to discuss early childhood education, attending a state banquet at Buckingham Palace, or traveling overseas for diplomatic tours, protection officers remain close by. This isn't a matter of personal preference or optional security that she could decline if she wished for more privacy. The protection is mandatory protocol designed to safeguard not just Catherine herself, but also her position as the wife of the heir to the throne and the mother of future monarchs. The security arrangements reflect an assessment that threats to her safety carry implications far beyond one individual. Any harm to Catherine would create constitutional crisis, disrupt the line of succession, and send shockwaves through the nation. Therefore, her security detail operates with constant vigilance, assessing threats, managing crowds, and ensuring safe passage through every environment she enters. The presence of these officers means Catherine never experiences the simple freedom of walking down a street unaccompanied, browsing shops without surveillance, or making spontaneous decisions about where to go. Every movement is planned, coordinated, and secured in advance. Even naming her own children involved restrictions most parents never encounter. When George, Charlotte, and Louis were born, Catherine and William couldn't simply choose surnames based on personal preference or family tradition. Royal children use titles and family names determined by their parents' titles and positions within the monarchy. Before William became Prince of Wales, the children were known as George Cambridge, Charlotte Cambridge, and Louis Cambridge, reflecting William's title as Duke of Cambridge. After Queen Elizabeth's death and the succession, they became George Wales, Charlotte Wales, and Louis Wales. These naming conventions follow centuries of tradition regarding how royal children are identified. The choice wasn't about what Catherine and William preferred, but about maintaining consistency with royal protocol. Even something as fundamental and personal as giving children their names becomes subject to institutional rules that supersede parental authority. The restriction serves as a reminder that Catherine's children don't belong only to her and William. They belong to the institution of monarchy, with their identities shaped by their positions within the line of succession. Catherine's influence on fashion is undeniable. When she wears a particular dress or coat, sales of similar items often surge immediately, a phenomenon the media has dubbed the Kate effect. Designers whose creations she chooses experience significant boosts in visibility and commercial success. Yet despite this enormous influence, Catherine cannot officially endorse any brand or product. Royal family members are strictly prohibited from commercial partnerships, sponsorship deals, or any arrangement that could be perceived as using their position for personal profit or showing favoritism toward particular businesses. If Catherine wears a dress from a British designer and it subsequently sells out, that's treated as coincidental rather than intentional promotion. She cannot appear in advertisements, receive payment for wearing specific items, or formally partner with fashion houses. This restriction protects the monarchy from accusations of commercialization and ensures that royal appearances remain focused on duty and service rather than business interests. The rule creates an interesting dynamic where Catherine possesses extraordinary power to influence consumer behavior and shape fashion trends, yet this power must remain unofficial and unacknowledged. Her style choices carry consequences that ripple through entire industries, but she cannot deliberately leverage that influence or benefit financially from it. The clothing Catherine wears follows unwritten but well-understood dress codes that govern royal appearances. While she experiments with colors and occasionally pushes boundaries with contemporary styles, her outfits consistently adhere to conservative standards regarding modesty and formality. Hemlines typically fall at or below the knee, avoiding anything that could be considered too short or revealing. Shoulders are often covered, particularly at formal events and when visiting religious sites. Necklines remain modest, avoiding plunging cuts or excessive exposure. Open-toe sandals are generally avoided at official functions, with closed-toe shoes preferred for their more formal appearance. These guidelines aren't explicitly written in any royal handbook, but represent accumulated tradition and expectation about how female royals should present themselves. Catherine's wardrobe choices demonstrate her understanding of these unspoken rules. She manages to express personal style and stay current with fashion trends while remaining firmly within the boundaries of royal appropriateness. This balancing act requires careful consideration of every outfit, ensuring that her clothing choices enhance rather than distract from the purpose of each engagement. The conservative approach maintains dignity and projects an image of respectability. But it also means Catherine cannot embrace more daring or avant-garde fashion choices that might interest her personally. Royal dining etiquette includes rules that most people would find bizarre and restrictive. At formal banquets and official dinners, the monarch controls the pace of the entire meal. When King Charles finishes eating and places his cutlery down, the course is considered complete for everyone at the table, regardless of whether others have finished their portions. Catherine, like all other royals and guests at these functions, must follow this protocol. If she's still enjoying her meal when the king signals completion, she must stop eating and wait for the next course or the meal's conclusion. This rule reinforces the monarch's central position, even in something as routine as sharing a meal. It transforms dining from a personal experience of enjoying food into another choreographed element of royal ceremony. The protocol dates back centuries to times when controlling the pace of meals served practical purposes in managing lengthy state banquets with multiple courses. Today, it persists as tradition, a reminder that even basic human activities like eating become subject to hierarchy and protocol within royal contexts. Every aspect of Catherine's physical presentation receives scrutiny and must conform to expectations about royal deportment. Her posture must remain upright and poised, whether she's standing for hours at official events or sitting through lengthy ceremonies. Slouching, crossing arms defensively, or fidgeting are all discouraged as signs of informality or discomfort that would undermine the dignified image expected of royals. Her body language must project confidence, grace, and accessibility while maintaining appropriate distance and formality. The way she waves, the angle of her hand gestures, even how she holds her handbag, have all been subjects of public analysis and internal guidance. Since photographers capture her every move and body language experts analyze her gestures for meaning, Catherine cannot relax into natural, unconscious movement. Every gesture must be controlled and considered. This constant awareness of physical presentation requires remarkable discipline and stamina, particularly during lengthy tours or multi-day events, where maintaining perfect posture for hours becomes physically exhausting. Yet the expectation remains constant because Catherine represents more than herself. Her poise reflects on the entire royal family and the institution of monarchy itself. These protocols governing Catherine's security, family decisions, professional limitations, appearance standards, dining behavior, and physical presentation create a framework that controls her daily existence in ways most people never experience. The rules reveal how thoroughly her role penetrates both public and private spheres, leaving almost no aspect of her life untouched by institutional requirements and traditional expectations. The final set of protocols governing Catherine's life includes some of the most dramatic and sobering rules, restrictions that reveal how deeply tradition and the weight of potential tragedy shape royal existence. These regulations address ceremonial obligations, diplomatic responsibilities, and precautions against the unthinkable scenarios that palace planners must always consider. When the nation enters periods of mourning, Catherine's wardrobe choices become strictly prescribed. At state funerals, memorial services, and remembrance ceremonies, she must wear black or appropriately somber tones. This rule is absolute and non-negotiable. The requirement exists to visually unite the monarchy with the public's grief, demonstrating that the royal family shares in the nation's sorrow. Fashion becomes stripped of personal expression and transformed entirely into duty. Any deviation from mourning dress would be interpreted as disrespect, not just toward the deceased, but toward the collective mourning of the nation. The protocol extends beyond simply choosing dark colors. The style of clothing must also be appropriately somber, avoiding anything that could be perceived as fashionable or attention-seeking. Jewelry is kept minimal and respectful. Even small details like hat styles and shoe choices receive consideration to ensure everything communicates appropriate solemnity. During extended mourning periods following the death of senior royals, these restrictions can last for weeks, requiring Catherine to maintain somber presentation across multiple engagements and appearances. The rule reinforces that her image serves state purposes rather than personal preference, and that during moments of national significance, individual choice disappears entirely. Even within her own family, Catherine must navigate formal protocols regarding titles and modes of address. When greeting King Charles at official events, she addresses him as "Your Majesty" upon first meeting, then switches to "Sir" in subsequent conversation. Other members of the royal family with titles are addressed as "Your Royal Highness" initially before Catherine can use their names. These formalities might seem outdated or unnecessarily stiff, particularly when speaking with family members she knows intimately. Yet the titles preserve hierarchy and reinforce the institutional nature of relationships within the royal family. The requirement serves as a constant reminder that family dynamics exist within a broader constitutional structure. Even warm, affectionate relationships must be expressed through the filter of proper protocol. For Catherine's children, learning these forms of address represents part of their education in royal life. They must understand when informal family interactions give way to formal public presentations, where titles and proper address become mandatory. The rules create a strange duality, where Catherine navigates both the intimate dynamics of family relationships and the formal structures of an ancient institution, often within the same interactions. Catherine's wardrobe choices during overseas tours carry diplomatic weight beyond mere fashion. When visiting foreign countries, she frequently wears designs from local designers or selects colors that reference the host nation's flag. These choices are carefully deliberate rather than coincidental. They represent subtle gestures of respect and diplomatic courtesy that communicate the UK's regard for its international relationships. A red and white outfit in Canada, a dress from a Polish designer during a Warsaw visit, or accessories featuring symbolic elements from the host culture all send carefully crafted messages. This practice transforms Catherine's appearance into a tool of soft diplomacy, where fabric and color carry political meaning. The expectations require extensive research and planning before each tour. Palace staff coordinate with designers, consider cultural sensitivities, and ensure that every outfit communicates appropriate respect without causing unintended offense. For Catherine, getting dressed becomes an exercise in international relations, where personal preference takes a backseat to diplomatic messaging. The pressure to get these choices right adds another layer of stress to already demanding overseas schedules. But the impact can be significant in strengthening bilateral relationships and demonstrating British respect for host nations. Perhaps the most unsettling protocol Catherine must follow involves preparing for tragedy even during routine travel. Whenever she travels abroad, Catherine must pack a complete black outfit suitable for public appearances. This eerie requirement exists because if a senior member of the royal family were to die while she's overseas, she must be able to step off the plane already dressed in appropriate mourning attire. The tradition originated after Queen Elizabeth II found herself without suitable clothing following the death of her father while she was in Kenya. She had to wait aboard the plane while mourning clothes were brought to her before she could disembark and face the waiting press in public. The palace learned from that experience, and now all traveling royals carry black outfits as standard precaution. For Catherine, this means that packed within her luggage for every international trip sits a constant reminder that death could strike at any moment, requiring immediate public mourning. The rule forces acknowledgement of mortality and the possibility of sudden tragedy in a way most people never confront during routine travel planning. The most dramatic protocol of all addresses the unthinkable scenario of catastrophic loss. Catherine and William are strongly discouraged from flying together with all three of their children on the same aircraft. The reasoning is brutally practical and focused on succession. If a single disaster were to claim the lives of multiple heirs simultaneously, the monarchy would face unprecedented crisis. The line of succession could be devastated in an instant, creating constitutional chaos. While this isn't an absolute legal prohibition that Catherine must follow without exception, the practice reflects careful risk management aimed at protecting the crown's continuity. The precaution means that family travel requires complex logistics, with parents and children sometimes flying separately or on different aircraft to ensure that tragedy cannot eliminate multiple generations of heirs at once. For Catherine, this protocol serves as a chilling reminder of how her family's safety connects to national stability, and how even something as ordinary as taking a family vacation involves considerations that most families never contemplate. These final protocols, from mourning dress to diplomatic fashion to preparations for tragedy and succession protection, reveal the full extent of how duty and tradition shape Catherine's existence. Her life inside the palace walls may appear privileged and effortless from outside, but these 25 rules demonstrate that every aspect of her daily life operates under constraints that most people would find suffocating. The restrictions span from the trivial to the profound, from what stockings she wears to how she protects her children from catastrophic risk. Together, they paint a portrait of someone whose public role consumes nearly every element of personal freedom, leaving her to navigate a world where almost nothing happens by chance, and nearly every choice carries weight beyond the individual moment.